everyone and welcome back to Mental Health Mondays. Today is episode 3. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is so common, and that is insomnia and struggling to sleep. Sleep is something that I think not only people who struggle with mental health struggle with, but just people in general. I think sleep problems is so common, especially with everything going on at the moment, because it's just that added extra stress, like whether it's, you know, hitting you financially or physically or whatever. It really does affect our sleep, and like it obviously can bring on insomnia and stuff like that. Because obviously I said in the first episode that I asked you guys over on Instagram what you want me to talk about, and I'm trying to do the most common things first, so like in the early episodes, and then the things that weren't as common but I do want to talk about, I'll just kind of leave those to after I've quickly done these episodes. Obviously the first one was on general anxiety, then depression, and now sleep, which, like I said, is something that so many people struggle with. I struggle with it. So many people I know struggle with sleep, and I've just kind of picked up loads of tips and tricks and learned along the way. So I have quite a lot to share with you that I've written on my laptop, so I'm just going to go through each tip basically and talk a little bit about it. That's how this episode is going to go. It mainly just is me giving you some of my tips. Rather than waste any time, I'm just going to get straight into the tips because I have a long list here in front of me. These will help you if you're struggling with insomnia, or you're just struggling to sleep at the moment, or you go through stages of bad sleep, just anything to do with struggling to sleep, which is something that I do deal with a lot. And I just, like I said, picked up loads of tips and learnt things along the way that help me. So hopefully there's something in here that can help you, but I do think keep an open mind to some of these tips because they're not for everyone, but they're things that I've really found have worked for me. The first bit of advice is to sleep at regular times, and I'm not great at this, I'll hold my hands up. I do tend to stay up really late sometimes looking at my phone, and then I massively regret it the next day, and then I find that it really affects my sleep for the next few days. Even if it's just like a one-off, it can really sort of have a domino effect on my sleep. So it is difficult at the moment because a lot of us are at home, and we might not need to get up at certain times in the morning for work because you could be on furlough or whatever. Try and just give yourself a sleep schedule, so a time that you want to aim to be in bed for, a time that you want to aim to be asleep for. Obviously it's not going to happen exactly at that time, but just a kind of rough, like, go at it sort of thing. And then always set an alarm for the next day. Obviously some days have your lie-ins. I do that on the weekend. I don't set an alarm on the weekends, but on the weekdays I do like to set an alarm. It doesn't matter what time for necessarily, just give yourself a routine. So me, for example, I will stay up to about anywhere between 10 and 11. I aim to be in bed for, so if I'm watching something at 10, obviously it might be that I'm in bed for 11, or sometimes a little bit earlier. That's kind of what I tend to do, and then I try to get to sleep by 12, which is still pretty late, but I just can't sleep early. I find that it means that I can't sleep throughout the night. So sometimes for me, I just have found that being asleep by 12 works for me, especially at the moment where I'm not going to work because of coronavirus. And then I'll always set an alarm for about 9:30. I actually have cats, if some of you may know, some of you may not know, but my cat Maisie likes me to be up at 9:30. It's so weird because this week and last week I found that I haven't actually needed to set an alarm because she sits outside my bedroom door meowing and meowing at 9:30 until I get up, open the door for her. So she's my little alarm clock at the moment, but obviously make sure you're setting an alarm for the morning, whether it be 7 AM, 8, 9, even 10. Charlie wakes up at like 10:30, but that works for him. Just find a sleep pattern that works for you. Obviously it's not always going to be that you stick to it, but just try your best, because I find that having a routine really helps with sleep. The next thing that's really important is to let yourself wind down. So say you've been at work, say you're working a bit late that day, you're working till, I don't know, 8 o'clock. So say you get home at about 8:30, you obviously have your dinner, then say dinner's about what, 8:45, 9 o'clock, and then you get straight into bed, you're not gonna, well, I'm speaking for myself here, but personally I wouldn't be able to get to sleep like that. I'd need to let myself wind down. And if you're finding that you can't get to sleep straight away, it could be that you're not fully letting yourself wind down properly. So things you can do to wind down are to have a bath or a shower, just like warm up your body, maybe watch something relaxing or read a book, or you can listen to some relaxing music, you can listen to some sleep meditations, do a bit of physical meditation if that's something that you like. You can do some yoga. Just really do anything to relax you. And one thing that I find really helps, and my friend Siobhan actually told me this about maybe like just under a year ago. She said to have a warm glass of milk before bed, and oh my god, it actually does work. I just find by having warm milk, and I know not everybody likes warm milk, but just a little glass of warm milk before bed just really relaxes me. And I think there's something in the milk that's good for sleep. I think obviously that's why babies have it, but I find that warm milk literally will help me get to sleep so much. And I don't do it every night because I don't want my body to become immune to it, but just when I feel like I'm going to struggle, or when I've been struggling recently, I will just make sure to have a little glass of warm milk before bed. Another thing you can do to help wind down is journaling. So write down your thoughts about the day, write down your thoughts about whatever. If you've got any worries, write it down, get it off of your mind onto a bit of paper or onto your phone. But obviously it is better to do it onto some paper because you don't want to be staring at your phone too much before you go to bed, because that is not going to help you, but I'll get onto that. And just get all of your thoughts and all of your worries off of your mind and onto something else, because I just find that doing that, obviously it doesn't take the worries away, but it can help just to relieve it a little bit and just let you kind of forget about it so that you can sleep and then worry about it the next day. Also write to-do lists, so maybe write a to-do list for the next day. I do that every single night. I have so many to-do lists on my phone, it's actually crazy. I need to go through and delete old ones. But every night before bed, when I'm laying in bed, I will quickly do my to-do lists for tomorrow. So write down what I need to do tomorrow, what times I need to do them, or if I don't need to do it on a certain time frame, just literally write bits and bobs that I have to do tomorrow. And just get organised before bed. I just find that otherwise, if I don't, I'll be thinking in the middle of the night, oh, what am I doing tomorrow? Or what have I got to do tomorrow? What time do I have to be up? Just already have it planned out and written down. I just find that that helps me. I'm a Virgo. We like to be organised. It's part of who we are. But yeah, just get organised and write everything down so that it's all sorted for the morning and you haven't got to worry about it. Obviously, it's best to do stuff like that if you're going to do it on your phone a couple of hours before bed, because obviously the blue light from your phone and any sort of computer screens is really, really bad for sleep. I have actually got blue light glasses now that I use, and I find that when I don't use them, like say if I forget or just can't bothered, I really, really notice a difference. So I definitely recommend getting those. You don't need to get any expensive ones. I think mine were like $7.99 from Amazon with free shipping, and they're pink, so definitely get some blue light glasses. I actually think I have mine here. Yeah, so these are my blue light glasses. They come in a little case. I'll link them below so you guys can check these ones out. They're not the most prettiest or fabulous glasses, but they do the job, and you can pick what colour you want. So obviously I went for pink. So these are them. In the meantime, whilst you're waiting for your blue light glasses, because get these, they will literally change the game, is put your phone on night mode. And I have an iPhone, so I'm not really sure about like Androids and other brands of phones, but with the iPhone there is a mode that you can put, I think it's called sleep mode or night mode or something like that, and it basically takes the blue light away and it makes it a little bit almost like yellow toned, so it can help whilst you're trying to get a little bit sleepy or you're trying to wind down. Keeping a sleep diary is something that's a good idea if you find that for a long period of time you're struggling with your sleep. So you can write down what time you went to bed that night, what time you woke up the next morning, what did you do before bed, what did you eat before bed, what did you wear. So it could be that you're wearing pajamas that are uncomfortable. It sounds really silly, but when you keep a sleep diary, you can look back and say, okay, that night I didn't sleep very well. why is that? What did I do differently onto the nights that I slept well? So that way you can kind of work out where you're going wrong. And obviously everyone is so different. So things that I struggle with, you might not struggle with, but then things that you struggle with, I might not struggle with. And like different things will help different people. So really be open-minded with sleep. Like even if you think, oh, I can't bother to write a sleep diary, just give it a go, because you never know, it might save your sleep. Make sure that your bedroom or wherever you sleep is a relaxing environment. So one thing that I really want to get is those, I think they're like lamps or little box things that have stars that come out of them and make it like a little galaxy in your room. I really want to try that out, and if you've tried it, let me know what it's like, because apparently it's really relaxing. I think they're from Amazon. I'll link it below, but they just seem so relaxing. I keep seeing them on TikTok, so I think I'm gonna have to get one. But just make your bedroom really relaxing. If you're having to work from home at the moment, if you can, try not to do any of it from your room, because then your mind then thinks of your bedroom as, oh, we've got to work now, so we're awake. So kind of only use your bed and your bedroom for sleep if you can. Obviously I know that not everyone can do that, but if you can, make use of that. And that's something that I need to keep remembering, because sometimes I'll go into my room and I'll start doing editing, then I'm like, no Chia, move to the lounge, get out of your bed, because it will just, I don't know, I feel like it confuses your mind. 1 minute you're sleeping there, 1 minute you're working there, and it's like, oh, like what is this room for? Because your mind is very clever. I think people underestimate how clever minds are. Also, if you find that a lot of light's coming into your room and you can't sleep in the light, I cannot sleep when it's light, I have to be pitch black. Maybe get some blackout blinds or blackout curtains. You can probably get them cheap from like eBay or something, and just kind of make do with what you can do. Another thing is weighted blankets. I've never tried a weighted blanket. Again, it's something that I really want to try and look into. I think you can get like different weights of weighted blankets, but apparently they really help, especially if you struggle with sleep because of your anxiety. It kind of weighs you down. But then I kind of have like a similar thing. I have basically like 100 teddy bears on my bed, and Charlie's like, how do you sleep like that? But I just find that they weight it down. So I guess it's kind of the same thing, but I do want to try out a proper weighted blanket. So give that a go if you struggle with anxiety when you're asleep, or you get kind of nervous or anxious or anything like that. Just try a weighted blanket. I'll link one below. An air humidifier is something that's really good for your bedroom, and to make it relaxing you can just put a little bit of lavender oil in there, which was another thing that I was going to say is lavender oil. I put lavender oil on my pillow every single night. I have a bottle here and I have a bottle at Charlie's. I literally just put about 6 drops on the pillow. Charlie absolutely hates it, but I have to have it because I can't sleep otherwise. And I don't find that the sleep sprays and those sort of things work. I don't know, I have tried the sleep sprays before, but I think they make it too fancy and it kind of doesn't do the actual purpose. Like I literally can only use pure lavender oil, which is lucky because it's cheaper anyway. But you can get it from like Holland and Barrett, you can get it from Boots, I'm sure you can get it from some pharmacies or sort of holistic shops, natural shops, anything like that. It's not expensive. I will link some below. Exercising regularly is something that's really good for sleep. I don't really like exercise, I'll be honest with you. I just don't like it. But I found that recently I've been going for a lot more walks and it's actually really helping my sleep. So definitely get some exercise in, even if you just go for like a 10-minute walk. It's just something, so your body's a bit like, oh. And then I just find that it relaxes you. So maybe try doing a bit more exercise. You could do a home workout, you go to the park and do a little workout, or just anything. Obviously when the gym's open again, go to the gym. Just do whatever you like, any sort of form of exercise. Cutting down on caffeine is a huge one, and I'm a huge tea drinker. Like I drink tea like I drink water. It is just the best invention ever. PG Tips, if you know, you know. If you want to sponsor me, PG Tips, please feel free to slide into my DMs because I love PG Tips. But yeah, so cutting down on caffeine is so important. I never drink coffee. Like I really wish that I liked coffee, but I don't. It just doesn't agree with me. But if you're finding that you're drinking too much coffee or tea, I know I'm guilty of this, but sort of evening, afternoon. Just don't. Just try and cut it out, or just try and half your amount, or cut it by a third. Just anything. Try and cut down your caffeine, and you never know, that might help you. I know that it doesn't affect everybody's sleep, but a lot of people I know struggle because they drink too much coffee in the day, then they can't sleep. Another thing that I am guilty of, but I really do try and work on it, it's just hard sometimes, is don't eat too much in the like evening and night time. And I do like a little snack before bed. I am partial to a little biscuit or two, or some chocolate buttons, which is fine, but personally it doesn't affect my sleep, I don't think. But I know that it will for a lot of people. Or if you have like huge meals really late, it's really not good for you. Not just for your sleep, but it's not good for your metabolism. But just try and eat earlier on in the evening, or if you can't, just maybe have a smaller meal, or let it digest before you try and go to sleep, rather than, because I know some people work late, so there's nothing they can do. Like normally I work quite late, and then I get home, have my dinner, and it's like 9:30. But then I won't bother going to bed even if I'm really tired, because you need to let your body sort of digest your food. Do not eat cheese or chocolate when you're about to sleep. I think a tiny bit of chocolate's fine, but cheese is just a no-go. If you suffer with nightmares or night terrors, sleep paralysis, anything like that, do not have cheese before bed. And chocolate I don't think affects me, but cheese, oh my gosh. If I have cheese before bed, I will have nightmares the whole night, and that is actually a proven thing, that cheese before bed is not good for you. It's just a no-go. On the topic of dreams and nightmares, if you're someone who is into like crystals, stuff like that, you can get certain crystals for sleep, or for nightmares you can obviously get a dream catcher. I don't have a dream catcher, but I know my friend does, and she says that it literally just keeps the bad dreams away. If you are someone who struggles with nightmares, I definitely am. Sometimes when I'm stressed, or if I have done something in the day that has affected my sleep, or I've had a really anxious day, or I'm going through a really down time, I will have the most horrific graphic dreams, and it just affects the whole of my day the next day. And one thing that I have found works so much, and I can't remember who told me about it, I really wish I could remember, but I was told to put rosemary in a tissue or in a little like Ziploc bag or something underneath your pillow, like actual rosemary. It really does help. Like I was surprised, but I have quite an open mind to stuff like that. I don't think anything's crazy, so I gave it a go, and it did actually really work. Apparently it just keeps any bad, obviously I know this isn't for everyone, but bad spirits and bad things away from you. So put rosemary under your pillow if you're finding that nightmares is something you're massively struggle with. If you are easily scared and affected by horror films or serial killer documentaries, obviously do not watch them before bed. I know a lot of people love them, I absolutely love them, but I wouldn't want to watch one right before bed. I mean, if I was a Charlie I'd be okay, because his whole bedroom, if you've seen it in pictures, it literally is a horror collector's world. So I have Annabelle dolls next to me, I have everything, but when I'm at home I cannot watch like any horror films or any crime documentaries. I just can't do it, because it will play on my mind, especially sort of like the serial killer ones, which I absolutely love. I love stuff like that, but when I'm on my own, if I watch it, I won't sleep and I'll keep seeing things at night. So yeah, just don't watch those before bed, or if they really affect you that much, just don't watch them at all. I love them, like I said, but I wouldn't watch it before bed. Skip this little bit if this is nothing that you're interested in or that you believe in. But if you are somebody who's very spiritual and you believe in spirits and ghosts and all little things like that, spooky things, then obviously you might experience that at night. I know it's actually more common than we think. I went through a period about a year ago. I bought a mirror for my bedroom, like a stand-up mirror, and I still have it, I love it. But when I first got it, for a few weeks, it was so weird. I would literally see these like two, you know, like if say a man was wearing bootcut jeans and he had like, I don't know, like big builder boots on, I saw from about his like halfway down his shin to his feet, I saw these 2 legs, and I was so scared, and I don't know why, but it was ever since I had that mirror. But it only lasted for a couple of weeks and then it went, but that would literally like terrify me, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, the first time I saw it, I was absolutely petrified. If you experience anything like that, so like spirits, ghosts, obviously you can speak to someone who is a professional, stuff like that, like, I don't know, clairvoyance or mediums or ghost hunters. I love watching Zach Bagans on TV. It's literally the best ever, Ghost Adventures. Obviously that is something that is real. I believe in it. If you don't believe in it, your opinion, but I believe that it's real. And yeah, I do think the mind plays tricks on you, of course, like, it's your mind, but that stuff does go on, whether you like it or not, it does go on. So if that's something that's obviously bothering you, then seek help about that. Don't just leave it, just seek help. Even if you get some sage, and I really need to get some sage actually, but you can get it from like Amazon or holistic shops or anything like that, like witchy shops, and you can just sage your room and just get rid of any negative things that are in there. So another tip that really helps with sleep is obviously apps like Calm and Sleep Stories. A lot of people use, I think it's called Sleep Stories, but it's basically an app that has tons and tons of sleep stories on. There's some for children, for adults, just anything really, and they will really help just to wind you down, so you can just get into bed, put your phone on the side, play the sleep story, and hopefully it will just kind of wind you down and make you feel sleepy. So definitely try that. If you don't want to pay for the apps, then I'm sure there'll be some on YouTube. Just type in Sleep Stories. I have 2 more things to tell you, and these are probably my biggest tips and the things that are my go-to. So that is sleep meditations and sleep hypnosis videos. So I listen to sleep meditations a lot, especially if I just have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'll just put one on. I'll link my favourite ones down below, but they basically really relax you. And obviously you can get like, some people find that listening to rain or a hairdryer or anything like that, so you can type in that on YouTube, or just like relaxing music. But I specifically like sleep meditations. I listen to a guy called Jason Stevenson on YouTube. I'll link his channel below. I've listened to pretty much all of his videos. There's ones specifically for anxiety, depression, bad thoughts, just insomnia, bad sleep in general. There's literally so many that he does, so find one that works for you. I've tried quite a few. So like I said, I'll link my favourite ones below. But listening to sleep meditations, he basically will talk you through how to wind down and how to get into a deep sleep. So I just literally have my phone face down so there's no light, and then just play it whilst I sleep. If I find that sleep meditation isn't working, I will try something a little bit stronger, and that is sleep hypnosis. I can't think what they're called. I think it maybe just is sleep hypnosis, but there's a guy who makes them on YouTube. I'll link it below, and it is a little bit stronger than a sleep meditation. Like they do say at the beginning, do not listen to it if you are driving or anything like that, because it really does, it like hypnotizes you basically, but on a mild sort of version. And that is when I really cannot sleep. And a little tip whilst you're doing like the sleep meditations and stuff like that is to really listen to your breathing. Like, instead of, like, obviously you need to listen to what they're saying, but sometimes just say you've closed your eyes and you're breathing. And I did a little breathing not tutorial, but like tip thing in the first Mental Health Monday, so if you want to go watch that, go watch it. I'll do it quickly with you now anyway. But when you breathe, the best thing to do is breathe like a baby would breathe. So they breathe from low, and their stomach obviously expands. If you watch a baby sleep, you'll see that their stomach does go up and down, like the lower stomach. That is perfect, literally so good. You don't want to be breathing up here. Let me just move my hair. But you don't want to be like breathing all up here, because you're not properly breathing and it's not going to get the oxygen like through your body. You really want to breathe from low. I'll just stand up and show you. Sorry, my jumper's a little bit creased. But put your hand on your lower tummy. So obviously this is my So this is my chest, and then you've got your waist, and then you've got your lower stomach. Obviously, if you're into stuff like singing, and that's your diaphragm. But if you put your hands like this, or you can put one on like the back side of you, where your what is this called? Just like the back, but the side back. And you can do one like that, and what you want to do is breathe so that it expands like this way. So you can take a deep breath in. So this is me just natural. And then when you breathe in, that's breathing in and breathing out. As you can see, your stomach expands. And the best way to try that, if you've not done it before, is lay on your back and do it. Or you can hunch right over, so stand up, hunch over, and feel it here. So you can like literally bend right over, but hang over and breathe, and you feel this bit expanding. That is how you breathe deeply and properly. Obviously don't be like, but just take deep, slow breaths and just listen to your breathing and just focus on your breathing, because that will really, really help to relax you. And my last little piece of advice for this video, sorry this has been way longer than I thought, is if you've tried everything, if you really can't sleep, do not sit there and get frustrated. It's easier said than done, especially when you need to be up the next day for work or the school run or whatever. Just let yourself not sleep, if that makes sense. So get up, go and make yourself a drink. Obviously nothing caffeinated or sugar, because you don't want to be awake even more, but just go and get yourself a nice glass of water, even a boiled water, so it'd be nice and relaxing, or a glass of milk, or go and, I don't know, if you really feel like you need to, just go and watch a bit of TV. Because if you keep fighting it, you're just going to make yourself more frustrated. And obviously try those other bits of advice first, because you do want to get sleep, because otherwise you'll just be so tired and you won't feel great. But if you really cannot sleep, just accept it. So just say, it's frustrating, I have got to be up, but I can't sleep, there's nothing I can do. Just sit up, listen to some music that relaxes you, watch something on YouTube. You can click onto this video if it helps you, or just anything that's just going to take your mind away from not being able to sleep, even just for 15 minutes. And you know, you could read a book, listen to some sleep stories, anything, just get up and do something. You know, you might as well. And then you'll probably find that your body starts to get tired again, rather than if you're laying there frustrated, because I've been there, I've done it, I know how annoying it is. But when you're laying there like so annoyed, you're like, oh my god, I can't get to sleep, just sit up and do something, sit up and watch a film. You're best off just to kind of let yourself not sleep sometimes if you really, really cannot sleep, rather than fighting it, because you'll just make yourself feel worse the next day. And sometimes when you just accept it and find peace with it, you actually find that that works. So maybe do that, just sit up, watch a film. Sometimes I'll just sit on Instagram if I really cannot sleep, and then after a while my body will start to be like, oh, actually I'm meant to be asleep now, don't I? And then I'll just get to sleep. So that is episode 3 of Mental Health Mondays. I hope this episode really helped you if you're struggling to sleep, or if you know someone who's struggling to sleep, or if you are an insomniac. Then hopefully that really helps you. Even if there's just one thing in there that helps, just give it a go. Like I said, keep a really open mind about all those tips, because I know they're not for everyone, but personally they've worked for me along the years. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I will link helplines and everything like that down below, and also anything that's mentioned in this video I will link down below for you. And I will see you guys next Monday for episode 4, or if you watch my YouTube for my other videos, I'll see you on Wednesday and Sunday. As always, if any of you need to talk or need someone just to listen to your problems or whatever, just DM me and we can have a little chat. Never suffer on your own, always reach out and ask for help, trust me, because you'll just sit there and it'll make it 10 times worse. So always reach out. But yes, I'm gonna go now, but I will see you in my next video, whatever that one is that you want to watch, and have the best evening, and I hope that you're all okay. Bye pumpkins.